How's it going, guys? Dan and Rob here again, and today we're talking about another Arcane Journal, working our way backwards through the series. So today we're talking about the Orcs and Goblin Tribes. So two armies of infamy in this one again. I'll start with the first one, which is the Nomadic War. So in terms of composition, the percentiles are the same across all the regular ones. The only main difference you'll notice here is everything's mounted. So looks like usual restrictions in terms of War Boss, Big Boss, but obviously on a chariot. You can take, the Black Orc variant, sorry, you can take regular Orc, War Boss or Weird Knob, but then obviously as we'll get to a stipulation they'll have to be mounted. Characters, yeah, pretty much look identical. The only major thing you'll notice across the board is no Night Goblins anywhere in terms of characters or... Yeah, no Night Goblin characters nor core.
That makes sense, doesn't it, for the build of the army?
Well, yeah. You can still take a Giant in Rare, which seems to be one of the main differences. And no Artillery, obviously, because you can't mount Artillery. You still take Big Boss, Orc, Black Orc, or Goblin in your army, and they can be the Battle Standard Bearer. But, yeah, basically everything has to be mounted. We'll go on to the special rules, and obviously you'll see a few more caveats why. So, first special rule you get is the Cunning Hunters. Within a Nomadic War army, any number of Goblin or Wolf Rider mobs may have the Ambusher special rule at the cost of a point per model. And in addition, Goblin Bosses and Goblin Shamans that are mounted on a Giant Wolf may have the Ambushers for 10 points a model. You've got Idem Fast and Idem Ard. Within the Nomadic War army, any Orc model that is mounted on a War Boar, Black Orc Bosses, Orc Shamans, and Orc Boar Boys gain the Impact Hits 1 special rule. These impact hits are used based on the strength characteristic of the War Boar and have an R-piercing characteristic of 1. And in addition, 0-1 Orc Boar Boys mobs. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of tongue twisters pronouncing some of these words. 1 Orc Boar Boys mob per 1,000 points may have Vanguard for point model. You've got Hunting Packs. Any Goblin Wolf Rider mob with a Nomadic War army may exchange Open Order and Skirmishers to Close Order and Horde. So you can close yourself up, get the combat res, and even go for an extra rank if you want to build yourself bigger. And on the move, so everything has to be mounted, which is why I think if we go back, so you can technically take War Bosses and Weird Knobs, but then obviously you have to put them on some sort of mount. And Solitary Fighters, so Black Orc Bosses within a Nomadic War are not subject to Dubois or Quell Impetuosity. I'm going to be tripping over my tongue for this entire review.
Just to check what they are. So Quell Impetuosity. I'll have the same thing. Quell Impetuosity.
I believe that's within 6. If you're normally within 6 of them, you're not subject to the Impetuous special rule.
Yeah, just check.
I've got the
Dubois is okay. So that's interesting. So your army must include 1 Black Orc boss for every Black Orc mob it includes, and vice versa. So this means you can take Black Orc bosses, because you obviously can't take Black Orcs, so it makes sense. So you can run just Black Orc characters without having to run Black Orcs as a stipulation, which is quite cool.
Oh, nice. Because I presume, because that caveat's normally there for the Black Orc chariots as well, right?
Black Orc chariots are exclusive to this.
Oh, they're a new thing, are they?
Yes, yeah, they're new. And then Quell Impetuosity. I got it that time. Whilst from the 6th unit with this special rule, friendly units may choose to ignore the Impetuous special rule.
No, so you'd be less subject to randomly charging when you don't want to.
I guess, but does that mean you don't get the Quell Impetuosity?
Well, it said may, right?
The bit here it says this is a not subject.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, hold on. So
does that mean you don't get it? Because the Black Orc Warboss comes with Quell Impetuosity. It doesn't affect the unit. So maybe it's to shut that off. So I guess the benefit is you don't have to take the boys, but then you lose on that.
Maybe. I suppose what in the list actually has Impetuous, though? Like
all the Goblins and all the Orcs, I believe.
So Wolf Rider mobs are Impetuous, yeah.
Yeah, I think Boar Boys are also Impetuous.
Orc Boar Chariots, Impetuous, yeah, pretty much the whole list. Well, I suppose it's probably removed it because the theme of the list is probably you want to charge.
Yeah,
you want to get in combat, so it's usually maybe you can use Black Orcs as those sort of anchor bricks to keep everything else at bay, whereas it's not the intention behind this particular army build.
It's quite an interesting army build. Obviously, it's full cat-mounted army, which we have seen a few times now, but it's still quite cool. The ambush on the goblins and characters could be quite interesting. I haven't seen that played. The hunting packs also, you've got some real like potential for actually building like big bricks of goblin wolf riders and using them as like hard-hitting units. Because if you charge in, you got a standard. You'll be getting 1 for close order and then 2 for horde.
And potentially 2 for ranks if you build them big enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
that's 2 for horde. Sorry, yeah.
2 for horde, 2 for the ranks. So you've got 3 there and 4 with a banner. So you could put big red flag if you really wanted to on a unit, and then you've got 5 starting combat res on a load of little goblins. Could be kind of interesting. Hit them hard and hit them fast is great. Like impact hits are pretty good this edition, especially they have an AP. So you can hit the front rank of a unit with. You could take other combos. So you could take the Ed-button hat on your war boss. Did loads of stuff. It's real good.
I like the Vanguard as well, getting a free move at the board at the start of the game and being able to charge from it as well. That's to then get your impact hits as well.
Yeah. The only slight thing there is I don't think you can give your characters it. So I believe if your character would also need to have Vanguard.
Oh yeah, for the all boys.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have an independent unit to the side if you wanted to do that. Or I don't know if there's a banner that can give you Vanguard, but we'll
possibly. But I'd have to check that.
No, I like the look of this.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can take mercenaries as well, Badland Ogre Bulls, and a Bone Grinder if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So basically, everything's on some sort of mount, monster, or chariot. And then obviously, you can take the only things that can keep the feet on the ground are giants and Bone Grinder giants if you take them. But no, it looks nice. We'll let you take control of this one, so we'll go to the next one, which is the Orcs and Goblin Tribes Troll Horde.
Yeah, so this is in the name. It's all about trolls. So still 50%. Hordes, which is quite limited. It's 1 war boss or weird knob per 1,000, and you can also take orc big bosses, orc weird boys, goblin bosses, goblin shamans, and troll hags. Troll hags are a new unit in this book, which we'll get onto. Pretty spicy one. 4 is 33%. You can have 1 troll mob per 1,000. You can have an additional troll mob per troll hag you have in core, and then it's orc mobs, goblin spider riders, and wolf rider mobs. 50% of your army can be trolls, and again, boar boys or boar boy chariots per 1,000. And finally, rare, you have giants. And the same again for mercenaries. You can have a big boss be or BSB. So it's fairly. I mean, the change here is the 33% core allowance, and the trolls are core. So, which is what you want that anyway, because you can be running most troll. So, on to the benefits of what you get for running the Troll Horde. Enhanced regen. Models with Regeneration X special rule within a Troll Horde army, we roll all failed regen against non-magical attacks. It's very good.
Yeah, it's big, that is.
Always this way, unless the character is fleeing, friendly troll mobs within a Troll Horde army can use a Orc Shaman, Goblin Shaman, or Troll Hag's leadership instead of their own. Super helpful, seeing as your whole army will pretty much have stupidity. So you need that high leadership. And then Troll Tongue. You can instead, for Orc Shamans, Goblin Shamans, and Troll, within Troll Horde. Oh, okay, so Hag Trolls can't take it, interesting. Unless she has it under Date Shoot, which she might do. Take the Troll Magic.
Yeah.
So, less rules than the other one, but very, very good. I've played against this army a couple of times. Played against the event. It's a very, very strong army. Obviously, regen doesn't count towards combat res, so it's not like you're just doing that, but it kind of becomes irrelevant when you can't kill them and then trolls swinging back. It's hurting. It's painful. So, yeah, I really like this one. It's really good.
Yeah, because obviously troll units, can hit like a truck, so you don't care if you save 6 wounds to regen and you're losing the combat by 6, because then if you get to your lower initiatives and start attacking, sometimes you can easily climb that combat res back up.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it, really. No, you have to run 33% in core, but you're going to do that anyway because you're going to be running trolls. You're going to run a troll hag, so you're going to have more trolls in core. It's not... Yeah, you're pretty...
Like I said, even the 33% increase for core, you're not too bothered because you're taking special choices as your core anyway, which are going to be a bit spendy, so you can easily make the points up.
Oh, easily. So, yeah, I mean, again, not much to say. Real good one. though, and then we'll move on to, I think it's the first named character now.
It is. Do you want me to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, you go with this one.
So we have Kick-Nick Tooth Snatcher. So this, our first glance, is a Goblin War Boss equivalent named character. So it seems to be the same as a Goblin War Boss stat line, I believe. Maybe just higher weapon skill. I think they're initial weapon skill 4 base.
War Boss is 5.
Wait, the Goblin ones?
Yeah.
Goblin. Oh, yeah, so they are. It's big bosses.
It's a War Boss, the big one, yeah. But he's leash of 8.
He is, yes, which is the main difference.
Leash of 8.
So he starts at 105 points. He's light cav. He has his own special rules mounted with a cavalry spear, shield, light armor. Special rules wise, all sneaky light. He comes with ambushes built in. Armor Bane 1 on the Chomper only, which obviously is his special weapon. Chomper. Oh no, Armor Bane's the mount. Chomper's the mount.
Yeah.
So the mount has Armor Bane 1, Armored Hide 1, Chariot Runners, Fast Cav, Fear of Elves, Impetuous, It and Run, and Rally Cry Swiss Ride Warband. So what this guy brings to the table, his first special rule is all sneaky like. So 0 to 1 Goblin Wolf Rider mobs in the same muster list as Kick-Nick may have the ambushes rule for free. So obviously you can take, if you take him in a Nomadic War, you can pay a point I think to give him ambushes, but he can give 1 unit for free. And he can add 1 or subtract 1 to the roll when determining when they arrive via ambushes special rule.
It's very similar to the Chaos character.
I was just thinking that it's almost like the Goblin equivalent of Fradal.
Yeah, it just means that you've got that real, like, varied adjustable. I do think of this, I know there's a lot of emphasis on the ball boys, but you could go for quite a heavy Goblin list. Just loads and loads of Goblin Wolf Riders and just have them ambushing, have them coming on. Could be quite a fun, interesting list.
Yeah, especially, like I say, with the build-up of turning on Close Order and Horde.
Mm-hmm.
He's got It and Run. So should they win a round of combat, he and any unit of Goblin Wolf Rider mobs he has joined may choose to fall back in good order rather than follow up or pursue. So it's quite interesting because you can go and hit something, potentially win the combat, and as they push back, you also push yourself back to maintain that gap. Then hopefully in their turn, they can't charge you back, and then you've got a free turn to get maneuverability or charge again. So it's an interesting rule.
Means if somebody... Sorry, I was going to say, it means if somebody does give ground or fallbacks in good order rather than breaks, you can go, right, well, I don't want to get recharged or anything like that, so I'm just going to bugger off that way. And you get a nice reform from it as well. So, yeah, it's really good.
And it's got the boss's trophy rack. So during a turn in which he charged, he and any Goblin Wolf Rider mob is joined cause fear and also get a bonus of +1 combat result point. So that's interesting again, because like I say, if you do run him in that big brick of Wolf Riders, like we discussed, that static combat res of maybe 4 for Horde, 2 ranks, Banner, Close Order, and then his now. You're at static combat res of 5 before you even swung, which is nice.
And if they're big enough,
potentially Fear,
which you want them to be, Fear would actually come into effect for once. And seen as, if you do take them in like an 18 or 21 man unit, that's 42. People are getting Fear from that. It's as simple as that. It's like units aren't that big. So.
And then his special weapon is the Skull Smasher, which has 2 profiles you can choose from. So the first one is Hammer, which is +2 strength, which would make him strength 6, -1, armor bane 2, magical attacks. Or you can go for Pick, which is user strength, so strength 4, -2 on this one, armor bane 2, magical attacks, but multiple wounds 2. And obviously he has the 2 profiles. You choose which one you start around the combat. I like this because obviously this gets around the changing weapons for like falling back and pushing and stuff. So if you do want to, if you want to go in with like, I don't know, let's say you've got outside factors to give you bonuses to strength, you could maybe go for Pick to start with and go for your high AP multiple wounds attack, and then if you do want to change them for the higher strength, potentially if you've got things. I'm sure there's an Orc banner somewhere that will give you +1 strength on the charge. Then you could almost make it +1, -2, multiple wounds 2, and then once that's wore off, swap over to your +2, -1 just to keep picking at them.
Yeah, I do think. I mean, obviously, I know the +2 is really good, but I don't know whether it would have been nice if the hammer maybe gave you like an extra attack. Maybe it might have been too powerful, but it's one of those where like, well, no, I guess the +2 strength. No, I think it's fine, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe swap the multiple wounds over, so you could be high strength, lower AP but multiple wounds, or user strength, high AP.
I guess, but then I think what they've sort of done there is that you still get a good amount of AP for -1. Obviously, it's not -2, but then the multiple wounds just means it offsets the strength, I guess. I guess that's sort of logic.
Less like 2 wound, but if you do wound, it causes twice as many versus more chance to wound, but only 1 goes through. No, he's interesting. I like him. For 105 points, he's, I think, a steal.
Cheap. I think if you're running a unit of Goblin Wolf Riders. He's expensive for a Goblin Big Boss, but to be honest, a Goblin Big War Boss is 60 points. I think a wolf for them is 10, and then if you want to get him to the equivalent of, because if you want to get him to the equivalent of the sort of like weapon damage and everything else, like he'll probably teeter on the amount of points he is anyway. So I think he's great for 100 points.
Yeah, and obviously
405,
he just counts as a Goblin War Boss as well, so you can include him in any army composition where they're allowed to be taken, which I believe is just Nomadic War and normal, because you can't take the. Could you take War Boss in Troll Horde?
You can take War Boss and Troll Horde.
Oh, so yeah, you can take him in all three if you want to. So, no, he's good. I like him. Nothing really bad to say about him.
I'll correct myself. You can only take big bosses.
Big boss. Okay, so he's Grand Army or Nomadic War specifically. No Troll Horde.
Yeah. So then we've got Ogdrus Swamp Digger. So he counts as a Orc Weird Knob. He can be included in Orc Goblin Tribes army. Any compositions. So I believe it might be the only one he can't be in Nomadic War. He can be a normal one or in Troll Horde, but he can't be in Nomadic War. So stat lines again. He's an Orc, sort of standard Orc stat lines. 195 points. He comes with special rules. He's got choppers. He's got the Troll Caller, Ignore Goblin Panic, Protect the Boss, Siphon Strength, and Warband. He can take Elementalism, Troll Magic, and he's a level 3 wizard. So not your level 4, but I haven't reread this. It's not too bad. So to Troll Caller, unless he is fleeing, friendly troll mobs within Ogdra's command range may use his leadership characteristic instead of their own. I think this is fine, but I think it's just the same rule as the one you get in the Troll Horde anyway.
It is. Yeah, I think that was just goblins before, though, wasn't it? So this is probably the only Orc.
It's Orc Shaman, Goblin Shaman. So is it because you can take?
Which was this? Was that
it's a Troll Horde. Yeah, because it says Goblin Shaman, Orc Shaman. So
he counts. He's not a. Oh no, Orc Shaman's just the broad category for Weird Boy Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess it's to say he has it, but it is just.
I suppose if you're not running this guy in a Troll Horde, he still has that ability.
True.
So if you're running a Grand Army and you want to run him near trolls, he's still like a mini anchor for them for leadership. Whereas,
Good point. Protect the Boss. Now I was reading this and I thought this had the same caveat, but it actually makes more sense. Which is this model cannot be targeted by enemy shooting or by enemy spells whilst it is within 3 inches of a friendly troll mob, unless this model is close to targeting it. The reason that's quite good is because it works no matter how many models are in the troll unit.
Yes.
So that's why it's different. Because obviously you have normal Lookout Sir, which is a limit of 5 miniatures. But technically you could run, if you really wanted to, run one troll, stick the single troll next to him, and then just be like, cool, he can't be shot, can't be talking about magic. It just means you have that possible, just like, let's just keep him alive. Then you have Siphon Strength, which is whilst Ogdru Swamp Digger is within 3 inches of a friendly troll mob with a unit of strength of 6 or more that is not fleeing, you get +1 to casting. So that kind of offsets him only being a level 3.
Yeah.
But, he's pretty good. And then finally, the Trollhide Shawl, he gets +1 armor and a 5 at regen and flammable. So I don't think he has an innate armor. So he has a 6 of armor save. And then he has a 5 up regen, which is obviously rerollable in the Troll Horde.
Yep.
And then you have Bogwood Staff. It's +2 strength, -1. Magical attacks requires 2 hands. For each unsaved wound inflicted with this weapon, he recovers a lost wound. That's not bad. If you really want, you could throw him into combat. He's strength 6 -1 with 2 attacks. It's not awful. And you could just try and bonk 2 wounds off just to heal him up a little bit. But, it's not. He's not bad. 195 points. There is a little argument, and I know it's not fair comparison. You could probably build a level 4 to do the job you want, but better. Because, in general, Protect the Boss is useful, but it's not going to massively come into effect because you get that fairly innately anyway. And then the Troll Caller is, unless it's fleeing friendly troll mob within Ogdru's command range, may use his leadership characteristics instead of their own. I mean, no, I guess to be fair, Protect the Boss does come up because trolls, unless you run them in 5-man squads, you don't get the Lookout Sir, do you? Because it's based off number of models, not.
Yeah, it's got to be 5 or more models within range, whereas that's its own thing. So, I mean, he's not bad. Like I say, so a base Weird Knob comes in at 140 points, and he has a Lore Familiar built in, which is 30 points. So
so Lore Familiar is
you get to pick your spells.
Oh right.
So you can take Troll Magic or Elementalism, But obviously, with him only being level 3, he can pick which spells he wants out of level 3.
True. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
100
basically, all the other special rules are only costing you 25 points. Which
also, it's a really nice model. I will say, even if you want to run just a regular shaman, I just get this model and run him because I think the model's great.
Because if I remember rightly as well, this guy comes with like a little. I don't think it has a purpose, but it comes with like a little familiar goblin on a in like a cauldron. In a cauldron. Sorry, it's cool.
Yeah, it's great. I really wanted to try and run him as a goblin wizard because I love the idea of him just being this like little goblin staring away. But but pretty good. I mean, 195 points. As I say, I think he's actually not too bad.
Yeah, and like I say, it's good that he's got the built-in special rule, so he has a similar purpose outside of the troll horde if you wanted to run him.
Sorry, I just want to double check. Oh. No, he's the same leadership as a troll. He's also got the regen. He's effectively got troll hide trousers as well, so he has regen. He's got a bit of armor. He's got some durability on him. So I think in terms of, to be fair, if you account for troll hide trousers, which is 40 points, I believe, he's only actually like 15 points more than a goblin shaman with troll hide trousers, and you do get other benefits. So I think it's pretty good. Cool. So then next, I'll cover this one because he's troll hags.
Troll themes.
You'll sort of see at the end why we're both sort of focusing on each of the factions. So, troll hag is movement 5, wolf skill 2, bliss skill 2, strength 6, toughness 5, 6 wounds, initiative 2, 3 attacks, leash 8, 235 points. So, a little bit on the expensive side, but to be honest, not too bad. Especially once you see what she does. So she's behemoth. She can take battle magic, control magic. There you go. She can be upgraded to a level 2 wizard, and she can have 50 points of magic items. Special rules, she also has Close Order, Flammable, Immune Psychology, Indiscriminate Hunger, Large Target, Motherly Love, Regen, 5+, Slimy Shanks, Stomp Attacks D6, Stupidity, Terror, Timber, Unbreakable. So, just a few special rules. Just a million. And then she also has Heavy Armor, sorry, I forgot to mention that. And then you've got Indiscriminate Hunger. During the command subphase of its turn, a troll hag that is engaged in combat may choose to make an Indiscriminate Hunger attack. Oh, it's in the command subphase.
Yes, I've not noticed that before. So I thought it was at the start of combat.
To do so, nominate an enemy model to engage in combat with. The unit must immediately make an initiative test. Oh, this is a separate thing. Sorry.
Was you thinking troll attacks?
Yeah, I was getting confused. If the test has failed, she immediately scoops up a warrior, sinks her filthy fangs into the flesh of a monster. Target immediately loses a single wound. If the test is passed, the energy manages to avoid grasping the troll hag. This attack has no effect. Each time an unsaved unit loses a wound as a result of an indiscriminate hunger attack, the troll hag recovers a single wound. So is it...
It's very similar to the giant pickup but it's in the command phase, and I think it's only once.
If it is...
Oh, no, but you can heal a wound from it.
Is it the whole unit?
If the test has failed, its warriors to game.
Well, it says nominate an enemy unit. The unit must immediately make an initiative test, which would imply every model in the unit, right?
Yeah. Each
so does
time
that mean
an enemy loses a wound, it recovers a single. I've only come up against this a handful of times, but I don't think I've ever failed this test yet, so I've not actually...
Have you been rolling it once per unit, though?
Well, if you compare that to the giant, because the giant specifically says nominate... it doesn't say nominate model. I think it's a single model in the fighting rank.
Right, hold on.
Let's have a quick look.
I'm looking in the FAQ quickly. Oh, I don't know if they've FAQ'd these books, but we'll see.
Because like the giant, for example, so the giant can pick up hand. So instead of attacking normally, so when he's engaged with one or more regular infantry, heavy infantry, pick up hand. Nominate an enemy unit of regular heavy infantry engaged with. The unit must make an initiative test. If the test has failed, a victim is picked up by the giant. What happens next does not bear thinking about. A single model belonging to the unit is removed as plays a casualty, whereas this one is
warriors in her. She's grabbing multiple people. It sort of describes.
The target unit immediately loses a single wound. I think it specified this, so I think its word is slightly different. I think it's still only 1, but so the giant specifies it can only do it against heavy infantry or regular infantry. This, I suppose, you could technically do it against like dragons or the giants.
Yeah.
Cav.
That's why.
Yeah.
I think what was throwing me off was the scooping up multiple warriors and recovering multiple wounds.
I might be wrong, unless it's but
no, it does say the target unit. See, it says if the test has failed. I think it's once. I'm assuming it's once.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be ridiculous if you could go to like a unit of like Tomb King skeletons or Initiative 2 and go be like, can they all make initiative tests, please? And it's just like, oh, the unit's died. It's like, oh, cool.
Well, not only that, it's like I've just healed 6 wounds back.
Yeah, I'm immune to everything. Motherly Love. Instead of attacking normally during the combat phase, a Troll Hag may choose to make a Motherly Love attack. To do so, you nominate an enemy unit that the Troll Hag is engaged in combat with to be the target of the attack and roll on the Motherly Love table below to determine what the Troll Hag does. So, on a 1 to 2, smother, the Troll Hag throws her massive arms around the foe in a terrible embrace. Place a large 5-inch blast template so that its center hole is directly over the center of the target unit, like a stone thrower. Any model, friend or foe, but not including this model, whose base lies underneath the template, risk being hit and suffering a single hit. Using the strength characteristic of this model with an AP of 2. So that's strength 5, I believe. No, strength 6. Use T5. That's what we're around. And -2. I mean, it's pretty good if you get that one. You can mess up units with this, just like donk.
It's essentially a better version of the belly flop from the giant, because it's the same thing. But obviously, the giant's belly flop uses the 3-inch blast, not the 5-inch.
Yes, it's 5-inch. So it's a big old thing. Mother, which is the Troll Hag, chastises her foe as if it was a wayward offspring. Nominate a single model in the fighting rank of the target unit to be the target of this attack. The model is hit and suffers DP +1 wounds with no armor or regen allowed. This one is pretty gnarly, especially if you've got like single characters or monsters or something like that, because it's just DP +1 wounds. There's no, you don't have to wound, you don't have to hit, you don't have to do anything. It's just, you could just, like, I've had this a couple of times where it's just killed characters, so it's very good.
I'd say it's same as Edbot for the giant.
Yeah. And then you got Mither. The Troll Hag bombards the enemy with a tirade of slaps and torrents of an unintelligible, trollish invective. Words. The target unit has D6 +1 hits, each using the strength characteristic of the model, with no armor saves permitted. You can take one regen. In addition, so shocked is the target that they suffer an additional -1 leadership, and obviously she causes terror as well. So it's -2 leadership for that phase. So if you win combat, which it's quite possible with the amount, because she's got stomps as well on top of this, it's very good. And finally, you got Slimy Shanks, which is -1 to hit in combat. Very good. She's got Troll Vomit, which is range strength 3, AP -2. A Troll Hag that is in base contact with an animal may make one additional attack each turn with its weapon. This attack must be made last after all of the attacks have been made, including stomp attacks, but it hits automatically. So this technically happens right at the end. So you've got stomps, you've got her regular attack, you've got her motherly table, and you've got the vomit as well. And you've got Swamp Breath, which is a normal breath weapon, which is strength 3 -2, breath weapon. Any unit that suffers of 1 or more unsaved wounds for this weapon must make a panic test, as if it had taken heavy casualties. That's really good again, because you just cause 1 wound and you can make a whole unit just run away. So
the -2 is nice as well. Most breath weapons are usually -1.
Yeah, and then in an regular Orcs and Goblins army, you can have 0 to 1 Troll Hags. 0 to 1 Troll Hag as a rare choice. You can only have 1.
She's
Oh no. Yeah, sorry. You have to include 1 troll mob, and then you can include 0 to 1 her.
Yeah.
Very good. I mean,
yeah, it's not 0 to 1 per troll mob, is it?
No. It's just 2. She's very good. She's got a lot of attacks. I mean, I'll be honest, you'll probably never use her regular attacks ever, because she's West Skill 2. She gets 3 attacks, and she has no AP innately.
Yeah, and like you say, even like the worst one arguably is probably the bottom one, which is just D6 +1 hits.
But it's got no.
Oh, I know they're all situational. Yeah,
they're all very good.
I think the main difference between her and a regular giant is the giant has obviously a slightly bigger table, but most of the better ones on the giant also require you to make a hit roll. So like the swing with club, which is just D6 wounds. Well, I think strength 10 -4 D6 wounds, but you still got to hit. So most of the time it's a 50-50 if that even hits. There's a similar to the bottom one. Yeah, there's a similar to the bottom one where I think you get like D6 +2 random attacks, but then obviously you still got to then hit with those attacks. Yeah. And then like I say, it just doesn't ignore armor. Whereas because the top one's a blast, which that's probably the least predictable one because it's just 50-50s. But with it being large, you're going to get a few guarantees. The middle one's filth against characters because it's just minimum 2, maximum 4 wounds, no one more regen. And then even the bottom one, like say against multiple units, just d6 plus 1 hits.
Yeah. And then you've got stomps, and then you've got vomit on top. They're all really good.
And she's a wizard, possibly.
And she's a level 1 wizard. You can make a level 2. We were sort of discussing this. We don't know how much value there is, to be honest. You can if you want. I do think taking a Talisman of Preservation isn't an awful idea on her. She's fairly tanky anyway, but she is only T5. She only has heavy armor. She does have regen, which is obviously rerollable if you take her in the Troll Horde. Which you probably if you're running Troll Horde, you will have at least one of these without a shadow of a doubt. But you can Talisman of Preservation is pretty good on her, and then making a level 2 is also not too bad. But yeah. So, and then we'll move on to the next unit if you want to run through these. The Badland Ogre Bulls.
Yeah, so regular Ogre stat line from what I can see from afar. Mm-hmm. You can kit them out, additional hand weapons, great weapons, or iron fists, full command, magic standards up to 50 points, and you can place the light armor with heavy points for 4 points a model. They come with Armor Bane 1, Close Order, Fear, Impact Hit 1s, the Mercenary Rule, Motley Crew, and Ogre Charge. So obviously Ogre Charge you can see below is the AP of any impact hits caused by model is improved by its current rank bonus of its unit. And then the Iron Fists are extra attacks. Well, Strength User, AP Dash, extracts 1, requires 2 hand, but you can improve your armor by 1. So it's a shield / additional hand weapon built into 1.
Yeah.
And then these are Dogs of War. So they may be taken as mercenaries in any army made using a Grand Army composition that includes the mercenary category. And I believe the Nomadic War had these as a building anyway.
Yeah, I think the 2 Orc and Goblin ones have them built in, but I think you can technically run these in any army. It does also give quite a fun, honestly, I might try and make some ones for my dwarf army maybe for a bit of fun.
Cool.
Try and convert up some sort of dwarven, they put heavier armor on them or whatever. I've seen definitely some it gives you quite a fun classic. What is it?
Like Imperial Army style thing.
Imperial Army. You can have the Empire Ogres, which obviously aren't a thing anymore, but you can have them now. So yeah, or even then, actually, what might be quite cool for dwarves is making some steam golems, which I might do.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say if you do the ogres, just green stuff and beards on them.
Yeah, just give them big old beards. They've we're just big dwarves, we promise. Yeah, I mean they're just ogres in general. Fun little unit.
Yeah, they're a nifty little thing. Motley Crew is... I don't know if that's on regular ogres, but I suppose it's different if you didn't want to...
No, it's not. I think it's on the man-eaters, maybe, but it's not on regular ogres.
Yeah, so if you did want to run that unorthodox mishmash of just random-looking ogres, you can, because of Motley Crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a nice little addition. Do you want me to have this one as well, or do you want this one?
Yeah, go through the Black Hawks. Black Hawk Chariots.
Yeah, so we've got the Black Hawk Boar Chariots. So it's... usual, strength, toughness 5, 4 wounds chariot. The only major difference is it has 2 Black Orc crew on the back instead of regular Orc mobs. They are 130 points compared to chariots are 90, I want to say.
Hold on, I'll double check. Who'll get there first? Probably you.
Can you flick pages faster or can I scroll
90.
faster? Oh, I was right there. So 90 points. So you pay an extra 40 points. However, you get 2 Black Orc crew on the back. They have a 3-up armor save innately compared to a 5.
It has a 4-up armor.
4-up. So armor save's improved by 1.
It's also an extra strength and an extra weapon skill. It has specified the Black Orc's toughness, which is a bit odd because I don't know why you'd ever use that. But
I suppose maybe if you were targeted with an initiative test, I don't know if you'd use the member, not the chariot. I don't know.
But then it'd be the initiative, wouldn't it? Not the toughness.
Oh, toughness test, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. It'd never be used into basic hand-to-hand combat because obviously you just go for the highest toughness of the chariot.
It might be a carryover that they just accidentally thrown in there. It's not a big deal.
So, yeah, 2 Black Orc crew, 2 Warboars. You can kit the Black Orcs with additional hand weapons or great weapons. You can put a standard on the back of them, which is nice. And they come with choppers, close order. Yeah, you can put a standard on it.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so you can with a heavy chariot, obviously it would have been close order. You can have its static combat res 2 with close order on a chariot. Standard bearer, sorry. It has choppers, close order, first charge, which is nice. Furious Charge, even better, and that's specifically on the Black Orc crew only. Ignore Panic, which I presume is obviously to counteract the Quell Impetuosity, which Black Orcs normally have. Impact hits D6 plus 1, and Tusker Charge. Tusker Charge, I'm not familiar with. I presume that's on a regular...
Tusker Charge is... During a turn in which charged, the Warball's tusks get +1 strength and +1 AP.
That's not bad.
And Ignore Panic is this unit does not have to make a panic test when a friendly unit that does not have this special is destroyed or breaks and flees from combat whilst within 6 of this unit. Nor does the unit have to make a panic test whilst when it's fled through. So, honestly, that's 40 points more. But I probably would give him great weapons.
I would, yeah.
I think it's just worth it. And then I would give him a banner. I mean, the only thing it does bump its cost up, because if you then kill this thing in combat, it is 180 points worth. 184 if you take great weapons.
I think, like I say, at the very least, you'd pay the 4 points for the great weapons.
Yeah. But Furious Charge as well, like, it means that this thing, when it's in combat, it gets, with the great weapons, it gets 4 attacks at strength 6 minus 2. It still have choppers? It still has choppers, so it actually strength 6 minus 3, reroll once to hit wound.
The D6 plus 1 impact hits at -2 because it's a heavy chariot.
Yeah, and then you've got the war boars, which you get 2 of them. Technically, I was going to say something, Steve. I didn't say it.
Strength 4 minus 1.
Strength 4 minus 1.
What was you going to say?
The Furious Charge. But no, I didn't say it. No, it didn't count.
It's in the brackets. Yeah, but unlike the Chosen Chariots, the whole model has impact hits, right? So that's 5d6 plus 5 impact hits.
Yeah, you can stick a war boss on one of these. It does mean you could stick a war boss on here and give him 6 of the lucky hats.
You could.
They're putting hats, and then you can have 2d6 plus 1 impact. No, d6 plus 7 impact hits.
Yeah. That's just...
but yeah, it's funny.
Would you have to resolve those separately? Because his at minus.
So, yeah.
His aren't at -2, are they?
His are at -1, I believe.
So you'd have d6 plus 1 at -2, and then just 6 at -1.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
I still think it's such a great. Are they not? Oh, it's in a chat time. Oh, they are -2. So it's technically the same.
You could just add them all together because his would be strength 5 as well, wouldn't it? So it's still with
it's a lot of impact hits though. It's mental.
It's nice though. I love. You can't go wrong with chariots. Great really option. Good. And then, like I say, it's weird you put a standard on the back of it.
I mean, I probably wouldn't. The extra +1 combat res is nice.
I suppose it depends how you build the list. If you're going to run sort of like a mob of them, and then maybe plan to like multi-charge a few, you could just run the one standard and pair them up.
Yeah.
But like you said, the risk versus reward is you've then got to try and net an additional 50 points with them just in case you do eventually die and get claimed.
I think with these, if you're hoping for the +1 combat res, or like to win through combat res, like from those sort of, from like, close order and banners and stuff, I think you're using the wrong way. I think these, you want to be hitting with other units, because then you add another close order in there, but then just trying to deal as much damage on the impact, and then with the Black Orcs and stuff, and then go from there. But still a very good unit.
Like I say, for the 40 additional points to upgrade it from a normal one, I think you can't go wrong.
Yeah. So then we've got the Bone Grinder Giant. Yeah. This thing's pretty cool. It's pretty monstrous. So it's 300 points. It's Weapon Skill 3, it's Strength 7, it's Toughness 6, it's got 8 wounds, it's Initiative 3, and it's got, obviously, giant kind of attacks. So I think it's technically an additional Strength and 2 additional wounds compared to a regular Giant. I think it's might be 1 higher Initiative, or it might not be, I'm not sure. Comes with... Yes. Oh, it is, okay. Yeah. It's got Giant's Club, it's got Caliph Hide, which is like armor, same as the Giant, and then it's got special rules. It's got Bone Grinder Giants, attacks, Close Order, Beat Psychology, Large Target, Mercenary, Stomp Attacks, D6+1, Terror, Timber, Unbreakable. So the club is just its combat weapon. It varies because of the things. So, Bone Grinder Giant attacks. So this is a little... Oh, so it uses... Oh, okay. Oh.
So you roll the d6 and then you pick the result depending on what you're attacking.
Yeah. So, sorry. Lost my page. There we go, sorry. So instead of attacking normally during the combat phase, a Bone Grinder must make a Bone Grinder Giant attack. To do so, nominate an enemy unit that the Bone Grinder is engaged with to be the target of the attack and roll on the Bone Grinder Giant attacks table below. Troop type of the unit target determines whether it's a little thing, a big thing, or a bigger thing. So basically anything that is cavalry or below is little things. Bigger things is anything that's monstrous infantry, monstrous cavalry. Okay, so what my point is, anything that's not monstrous is little. Anything that's just monstrous is, or chariots are big, and then anything that's a monster or heavy chariot is bigger. So, and then that then correlates to. I'll just go through them. I'm not going to compare against the chart. We'll just go through what they are. So you've got Crush Underfoot. The Bone Grinder Giant stomps heavily upon the enemy. Place a large 5-inch template under the center hole directly over the center of the target unit. Any model, friend or foe, suffers. Is risk of being hit, and its strength is done at strength 7 minus 3, technically. Ooh, that's a meaty hit if you get hit by that. The Headbutt is target suffers a single hit and suffers D3+1 wounds with no armor or regen permitted. So that's a bit more like the Hag. So that's very good. And then Grind its Bones. Faced with rank upon a rank of bite-sized snacks, the Bone Grinder tries to gobble up enemies by handful. Every model within the fighting rank of the target unit must immediately make an initiative test. Those unable to escape the grasping hands of the Bone Grinder are scooped up and eaten whole. Every model that fails to test removed from player's casualty. See, that's pretty brutal, because, again, you could just have a couple of characters in the front rank, and it's like, oh, make your initiative test. Fail these, you die. And then if they pass, they're unharmed. Note that any characters in the fighting rank of the target can make lookout cert rolls. Okay, so that's not too bad. Go around that. Mighty Swing. Target unit suffers D6+1 hits. For this, the Bone Grinders has strength +1 and -2. See, again, it says hit, so I don't think you have to roll to attack.
You don't, I don't think, because if you compare it to the regular giant, I believe his is. So the regular giant is subject to the random attack special rule with an attack characteristic of D6+1. So then he still has to go through the motion of hitting, whereas this is just the target unit takes D6+1. So
strength 8 -2. Vomit, peering down. As standing creatures makes the Bone Grinder dizzy and messily sick. Flame template, narrow end touches the end of this model's base that is in contact with the target unit, and broad end is over the target unit. Any model, friend or foe, but not including this model, that is risk being hit and suffers strength 5 -2 hit. Pretty good. It's definitely like not one of the best ones, but it's not bad. Then Wallop. I mean, I guess if you get it in the flank, that one could be pretty nasty going down. But and then Wallop, which is the final attack, which is the Bone Grinder makes a single attack against the target unit. For this attack, the Bone Grinder has strength +3 and -4 and suffers and multiple wounds 2d3. So that's what you want to roll if you run into some sort of monster, I feel.
Yeah.
Well, no, to be honest, I still think you want the D3+1 wounds, because the -4 is nice, but they still get regen. This does technically more wounds.
And you have to roll to hit with this one.
You have to roll to hit and wound, whereas the other one is just...
D3+1 wounds, no
Yeah,
armor.
so... And you can take these in an Orcs and Goblins, Warriors of Chaos, and Beastmen Brayherds army. So in a grand army.
I didn't realise you could take this Warriors of Chaos. I may need to upgrade a giant at some point.
Don't do it! But yeah, so... Also, if you want a model for these guys, obviously you can use the Bone Grinder model, or you can get the Age of Sigmar Gargants, which work perfectly. I have seen someone put them on the base, they do fit on them. And they look pretty good. But just very good monster. Like
as a quick overview,
more than a regular giant. So
as a quick overview, like the Headbutt's only in the bigger things. So luckily, unlike the regular giant, you can't do that against the single characters in the front rank.
True.
You can, looking at this, you can crush, grind, or vomit. So you can do some of the minor ones, but he's still lethal for his points. But yeah, like I say, like you could never really have a game plan for giants other than just to unleash them, because like I say, you can never really predict what they're going to do. The amount of time. I mean, the one thing I'm happy about in this edition is they removed. Do you remember in 8th edition where I think result number 2 was just yell and ball, just no combat, you win by 2, and then it was just a bit dull. Whereas I like now that all the charts involve a little bit of interaction.
Yeah, at least with this as well. Like this is definitely better than a giant, because you don't have the complete randomness, because if you have like the belly flop against one of the bigger things, it's just like, cool, I don't do a whole lot. But if you get any of the bigger ones here, they're pretty good, because say they're all doing like decent damage against them.
Yeah, the only thing remind me what the mercenaries rule is again, because that could.
So mercenaries,
believe it's...
I think it's so you roll a dice at the start of the game, and then it has an effect. So
can't use Inspiring Presence, all that jazz, but he doesn't care because he's unbreakable.
Yeah, he's leadership 10 anyway. He's the highest. He'll be the highest. You want him as your general, really. He's the highest leadership in your army.
So hiring mercenaries doesn't come with that risk. So prior to deployment, you roll a d6 for each army. On a 2+, they've held up their contract, and on a 1, they behave badly. Oh, so basically, it's not too bad. So you roll the dice to start the game per unit, and on a 1, you roll on a table. And it could just be as simple as getting stupidity. -1 to movement and initiative. They arrive late but gain ambushes, which wouldn't necessarily be a downside with this thing. Could you imagine this thing ambushing from the side?
Yeah, or from the It's like, oh, what's coming on from behind me? Don't worry about it. It's just this. It's fine. I mean, the mercenaries rules is like, they're
flavourful more than anything else. Like if you're taking mercenaries, 9 times out of 10, you're probably playing some sort of narrative or had some sort of.
If this guy got, what was it? Stupidity was one of them. He doesn't care. He's leadership 10. Plus, if you take him in the troll army, you can cast what we're going to come on to next, which is a certain spell, which you can then get around that. You then, what was it, -1 skill initiative?
So essentially it's stupidity, but you do get +1 to the roll. -1 movement and initiative. Arrive late, but you gain ambushes. And -1 leadership, which... You're unbreakable, who cares?
I'll be honest.
So to be honest, with this guy, you might roll a 1 because he just might gain more rules.
Yeah, exactly. So then we go on to the troll magic. This is a new law. So unlike a lot of the other armies, they've actually got a whole new law of magic, which is quite cool. This can only be taken by troll hags, or if you're running the troll horde, you can run it on the normal wizards. So the big smarts, which is definitely a spell you're going to want to get, is an enchantment. It's a self spell, casting value of 8. It remains in play whilst the spell is in play. Friendly units within command range of this model may reroll any failed stupidity tests. Additionally, if a friendly unit within command range of this model, when the spell is cast, failed its stupidity test during the start of the turn subphase of the same turn, it may immediately make this test again. So it does. It's honestly quite hard to fail stupidity because if you're going to have your troll hag, if she casts this, it's a 18-inch aura from your general. It's a massive aura because she's also a large target, and then she's leadership 8. So leadership 8 with a reroll, and because also you can just recast it. So let's say you fail a load of stupidities. I don't know, you can just recast it, get them all back. It's a very good spell. It's definitely sort of a must take in the troll horde army. You kind of just have to take it, but it's signature, so you're never not going to have it.
That's for me. I think that's probably why you said earlier, you don't necessarily have to upgrade the troll hag to level 2 because you just take this as your 1 spell.
Yeah, it's not hard to cast. An average cast, even at level 1, she can cast this technically. It's, whether it gets dispelled, that's up to you, but,
But the main thing is you get it on your turn just to get some maneuverability without the random movements, potentially.
Yeah. And it's something your opponent might go, oh, well, I'll just try and get rid of it or whatever. So you've then got their 6 spells. So you've got Acidic Bile, Magic Missile, 8+ to cast, range 18. Place a small 3-inch blast template so that center hole is directly over the center of the target enemy unit. Once placed, the template will scatter D3 plus 1 inches. Any enemy models whose base lies underneath the template's final position risk being hit and suffering a strength 3 hit with -2 AP. Not bad, quite a low casting value, which is kind of nice. Not the most accurate thing with a bit of scatter and stuff like that, but not bad. Troll Brains is a hex. Cast value of 9, range 15, remains in play. Whilst this spell is in play, the target enemy unit becomes subject to stupidity and reduces leadership character by 1. Again, that's pretty decent. You could time that right, put it on a scary unit. It remains in play, but you'll get at least a round of it unless they get rid of it. But still not bad. Ravenous or Recourse, yeah. Or recourse, yeah. Conveyance 8+ self. Until the end of this turn, all friendly units that have the stupidity special rule and are within 12 of the caster gain +2 to their movement caster. Pretty nice. I think trolls are movement 5, I want to say.
Yeah,
standard.
I know they're a little bit faster than the average heavy infantry. It depends on the troll, I think. So, and then move 6.
Yeah, I was going to say because
this makes them move 8.
Most monstrous infantries move 6, but I didn't know if it was a case of
Slightly less than like giants and stuff, yeah. So
yeah.
movement 8 trolls isn't bad.
That's pretty fast. It is conveyance, so it's not like you can cast this.
You can't benefit from a
and then
charge.
No, but it's still very good. Photide Whirlpool, Magical Vortex 9+, range 18, remains in place. Place a small 3-inch blast template so that the central hole is within 18 of the caster. Whilst in play, the template is treated as danger terrain. It's nice, typical Vortex sort of. And the template moves d6 in a random direction during every start turn subphase. Any unit the moving template touches or moves over suffers d2 plus 3 strength 4 hits with a minus AP of 2. Pretty nice. It's kind of... I was going to say it's a better Flaming Vortex.
Pillar of Fire.
Spell called? Pillar of Fire. It's not, because you can't make the direction. And it's
a better version of the Summon Elemental Spirit from Elementalism.
Yeah.
It's the same amount of hits, same strength, but 1 better AP.
It is quite a low casting spell. Like 9 is actually fairly like it's middle of the road, but it's 3 Vortex. It's not too high.
The range is nice as well because I think most Vortexes are usually like 12 to 15.
Yeah, it's a long range spell.
Ironically, it's the same the lore, but it's a better version of Acidic Bile.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Acidic Bile is one of those where you can have it, but because it's still, if it didn't scatter, it'd be like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. But I'd probably just try and go for the. If I had that, if I rolled my let's say I took a level 4 wizard and you took the troll lore, I'd probably immediately get rid of Acidic Bile for
the signature. Yeah, whereas 4 you'd have a contender to keep, depending on what else you roll.
Exactly. Torrent of Filth is an assailment, 8+ to cast, range combat. Place a flame template so that the narrow end touches the caster's base and the broad end is over the unit they engage in combat with. Any model, friend or foe, whose base lies underneath is risk being hit and suffers a strength 3 hit with minus 2 AP. Again, not bad. I think it's, it's okay. There's better assailments out there, I will say, but it's not bad. And then a Rapid Regeneration, which is the final spell. This is pretty good. It's an enchantment, casting value of 9, range of 12, and it gives the target unit a regen save and flammable. And again, if you take it in Troll Horde, that's re-rollable. So, you can stick a Bone Grinder, give the Bone Grinder regen, and then give it a re-rollable regen. That thing is gonna be hard to shift. So it's very, very good. All in all, pretty good magic lore. Some spells don't blow. I mean, to be honest, if you took a level 4 and you rolled for this, you'd be happy for everything pretty much. The only one I'd be like, yeah, I'm getting rid of is Acidic Bile. Maybe Torrent of Filth.
Yeah,
those two are middling, but the rest are good.
Photid Whirlpool's definitely your top contender in terms of damage. Troll Brains and Recourse are good for utility, and then like I say, Rapid Regen's just brilliant depending on what you target. I suppose what other things can you actually take in the Troll Horde that aren't trolls?
You can take Orcs and Goblins, so you could actually stick that on a unit of Goblins.
Yeah, rerollable regen on Goblins is bad.
Yeah, or Orc Boys.
Can you still take Night Goblins in this one?
No. Just regular.
Just Goblin mobs.
Yeah, just Goblin mobs. So, pretty good, in general. You could also take a unit. You could take a unit of Wolf Riders and stick it on them. You know what I mean? That's an option. So, all in all, pretty good.
It's nice as well that they get the whole lore, because most factions end up with just an additional lore 3 signature thing.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it would have been nice. This is my thing. I think it would have been nice if more factions got this. I would, as the Dwarf player, I would have loved to get more rune spells for the Anvil. Because at the moment, it's just it's not there's no thought, but there is just a bit of just cast these same spells every turn. Whereas this gives you a bit more variety. And then we've got the magic items. There's some very interesting ones in here. So if you want to go through these.
Yeah, I'll start on these. So you've got, and I absolutely love Orcs and Goblins magic items names, so they're the best things in the world. So you've got the bigger, choppier axe, setting you back at 55 points. It is a +2 strength, -2 killing blow, magic attacks, requires 2 hands, strikes less. So
it's not good.
It seems to be a theme that the top weapon in pretty much every book is very naff.
Because again, not comparison, but it's 55 points. But effectively, it's literally a great weapon with killing blow. I don't think it's very different to the Chaos one, to be honest.
Well, no, the Headsman's Axe though from the Common Rulebook. Right?
That's what I'm looking at. Headsman's Axe is only +1 strength and -1 strength, so you 1 less strength, 1 less AP. But it's 10 points less, and you don't get strikes less. So immediately, it is better. But again, like, I mean, it's not exactly a fair comparison, but if you really wanted to, you could take the Ogre Blade, which is 65 points, so it's an extra 10 points. But it's just flat out better. But for like 10 points more, and you get in the same strength bonus, same AP, only one hand, so you can use a shield. It gets Armor Bane, it doesn't have Strikes Last, and it has more points D3. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, I think the problem is some way, and I know it's never also... Like, if you want, like, fun and thematic and all this, it's fine. But with every weapon, like, not the smaller weapons, no, but the big weapons. We had it the same with that Chaos weapon in the Chaos Arcane Journal. You've got this 55-point weapon, which is meant to be the best, of the batch, and then you're like, yeah, but it's not as good as the giant, as the Ogre Blade. So giant blade, yeah, Ogre Blade.
Yeah.
So, but shouldn't compare really.
Yeah. Do you want to alternate on these, or do you want me to just take the weapons you have the next chapter?
I'll read them. Well, Mortog's Best Basher, 50 points, +1 strength, -2 AP, requires 2 hands, magical attacks, but you get +1 weapon skill, +1. Immediately, so much better. Okay, it doesn't have Killing Blow, fair enough, and it's only +1 strength, but you're an orc anyway, so your strength 6.
Yeah, strength shouldn't be an issue.
But you put this on a Black Orc war boss. He's now initiative 7 and weapon skill 8. You take a big red grounded flag. He's weapon skill 9.
Well, aren't the Black Orc ones weapon skill 7 base? Or is that a big boss?
Yeah, so the weapon skill 8 with this.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said 7. I was like, weapon skill 6?
Yeah, weapon skill 8 with this, and then weapon skill 9 with the big red dragon flag. And you've got a war boss that can like duel with the best characters in the game, and initiative 7 base. So if you charge, I'm initiative 10. It's like, I'm running to this high elf character. He's like, yeah, I've got always strikes first, and it's like, I technically don't.
I have strike same time.
Yeah. I have strike at the same time, and for 50 points. Like this one, I really like. Yeah, okay, but this one, I think I'd honestly look at and go, how much do I like? Do I think it's better if if your opponent's running a dragon or whatever, or a mounted character? Then yeah, no. But against on foot character, I'd honestly probably choose this over the Ogre Blade, maybe.
Yeah, it's a
because
very
already 6, but the extra weapon skill, because you could also take that and the Effigy of Mork, be weapon skill 8 with -1 to hit. That's very good.
Yeah.
So
well, I like ones like this as well, because it lets you take the lower end Lord and then bump you up to a Lord stat line if you wanted to as well. So
it's bang on 50 points. So you can stick this on a Black Orc big boss, and then he becomes weapon skill 7 and initiative 6 as well.
Yeah.
So then he's not. I think he's, apart from 1 attack and 1 wound, he's basically the same. So yeah, no, real like that.
They're good. I'm going to butcher this one. So you've got the Da Acrit Axe. I think that's how you pronounce it. 30 points.
Yeah.
So +1 strength, no AP, armor bane 1, magical attacks. However, the wielder of the axe may reroll any failed to hit rolls whilst made using it. However, the weapon strength modifier only applies during the first round of combat. So it's basically a flail that's +1 AP 0, but you can reroll to hit with it. It's fine, 30 points.
Bad.
I don't think it'd be many people's first choice, but it's there if you wanted to throw it out there. Rerolls to hit's never a bad thing.
No. I mean, I think you could. It's got no AP, so you have that against you, but it's not bad. It's a fun little thing. Backstabber's Blades. So this can only be taken Goblin bosses and Night Goblin bosses. It's 25 points, strength +1, -1 AP, magical attacks, and if the wielder of the weapon is engaged within the enemy flank, it's rerolls to wound. If it's the flank and if it's the rear, it's reroll to hit and to wound. Nice. Not bad. Like, you take on that on a Goblin big boss, he's strength 5 -1 with 4 attacks, reroll to hit and to wound if you get him in the rear. Fun. I wouldn't say it's again super optimal, but it's kind of fun.
Extremely common, that one as well. If you did like it that much and you wanted to flash it about everywhere.
Can you put it on Night Goblin Champions?
If only.
I'm assuming not. I'll double check. But
I'd be very surprised if their champions had a magic item allowance.
Well, the only other option is what about Goblin?
Well, it's bosses and Night Goblin bosses anyway, isn't it? So.
Damn. Yeah.
Even if they have an allowance.
Boo.
So, into the magic armor, we've got the Dead Hard armor for 35 points. It's Black Orc bosses and Orc bosses whose troop type is infantry and cavalry or chariot only. So basically, if he's on a wyvern, he can't have it. The Dead Hard armor is a suit of full plate. In addition, they improve their toughness by 1. It's not bad. So what, you could chuck a Black Orc boss on a chariot on this and he's T6.
I'd probably run that with. I mean, if you really wanted to, I guess for like points, probably still not 100% worth it. But I'd more be eager to run that on a regular Orc War Boss.
Either that or, I think on a Warboar at most.
Because if you put a regular Orc War Boss, let's say you're trying to save on the points, or if you don't want to run Black Orcs, because obviously if you're running a Black Orc War Boss, you have to run Black Orcs, so you don't want that. You can basically make a Black Orc War Boss. You don't get the initiative and the weapon skill, but well, unless you take that other weapon, and then you can effectively like make a Black Orc War Boss without having to run a Black Orc War Boss. So it's still good because you still be T6. You stick him on a Warboar that's got Armored Hide 1. He's got a 4 up armor, then a 3 up armor. You give him a shield, and then you give him. You can't do that. I don't think.
Depending on point amounts.
No, I don't think Trollhide trousers can be. It's not common, so you can't take it in addition to other armor.
Oh, I thought it was.
It is. Ignore me.
Yeah. So you could easily stack up for some high armor.
Yeah,
I suppose if you didn't want the shield at that point because you had a 2-handed weapon, you could.
Yeah, I mean 2 up armor, and then you take just a great weapon.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, okay. 35 points. Yep. Good little.
The Spiteful Shield, 20 points. It's a shield. In addition, an enemy model that rolls a natural roll of 1 to hit or to wound against the wielder during the combat phase of strength 4 hit with no AP. I don't actually kind of hate it. It's like 20 points is quite cheap, and I do kind of like the idea of again sticking that on a Goblin Big Boss. And let's see, in a fun combo, you could take a Goblin Big Boss, give him the Backstabber's Blade and he's effectively just there, just like, I'm going to stab you in the back, and then when they hit you back, it's like, nah, I'm stabbing you again. So I think that could be quite fun. It's not bad, 20 points. I think the problem is, if it had like this actually magic item could be real nasty if you had like an AP with it as well, like if it had AP 1, but a bit of fun, nothing too incredible, but not bad.
Yeah, that's alright. And then on to talismans. So you've got the Sparkly Wizard Finder. So for 45 points, the bearer of the Sparkly Wizard Finder has the magic resistance -2 and hatred all enemy wizard special rules. This, I mean, name aside, is pure gold, obviously, but it's pretty good. 45 points. Magic res 2 is respectable, and then hatred enemy wizards as well.
The hatred enemy wizards, you might not see it come up too much. It's not bad.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit niche. I suppose if you get in combat with their wizard and you want to sort of go into a challenge, you've got more chance to hurt him. But then it's not usually if you have a wizard, you sort of don't want him in combat. So it's the magic res 2 is the main thing you're paying for there, I think.
Yeah, and then you've got Effigy of Mork, 35 points. This one's great. Any model that directs its attacks against the bearer of the Effigy of Mork during the combat phase suffers a -1 to hit. It's just good. Like 35 points. Again, stick it on a Black Orc War Boss that's got the +1 web skill, +1 initiative weapon. He's now web skill 8, -1 to hit. You could then again take the big red raggedy flag, so now he's web skill 9 with -1 to hit. It technically would mean if you got into a challenge with a weapon skill 4 character, they hit you on 6s.
Yeah.
So, but it means that in 90% of challenges, you're being hit on 5s. There isn't like, unless something's web skill 10, which I don't think there's anything in the game that's web skill 10 apart from a Bloodthirster, I think maybe, but that might even still be 9. You're hitting on 5s. Simple as that. So. Yeah, I really, I think, and it's good also for stuff like if you really wanted to, you could take that on a Troll Hag. There's -1 to hit. I don't think there's any cap on minuses to hit. So, you could take that -2 to hit in general. It is only combat phase, so not all the time. Thank God.
There's
35 points for just -1 to hit. It'd be amazing. Or you could take a Goblin Shaman on a Ragnarok Spider, put that on it, and then he's only web skill 4, but he's -1 to hit. Most things are hitting you on 5s. That thing's got 10 wounds. So
yeah, it's a cheap toll for more survivability on most things. And then magic standards. So you got the De Angry Lad's Flag for 35 points. You may give the unit carrying De Angry Lad's Flag Frenzy. Pretty good.
That is good. Yeah, I mean, again, you take that on a unit of Black Orcs. They've already got Furious Charge. Give them paired weapons. They're 4 attacks a model, or give them great weapons, and they're 3 attacks a model at strength 6 -3. Pretty beefy, like a combat ability.
I suppose the only downside to this one compared to the Chaos one is obviously you still technically lose the Frenzy.
Yeah, there is that as a caveat. That's the only slight pain. Yeah. But I think to that you're hoping to hit and just keep mowing through.
Yeah.
Quite good on like a unit of ball boy cavalry, to be fair. So
Yeah.
The Spider Banner, 35 points. A unit is carrying the Spider Banner against Poison Attack Special Rule. If the unit already has the Poison Attack Special Rule, then their attacks will automatically wound on a 5 or a 6 rather than the usual 6. Not bad. It's the poison attacks is not going to come up very often because it's like the only unit I can think of in the book that has innate poison attacks is Spider Riders, and that's it.
Yeah.
There might be some obscure ones that I'm missing, but pretty much I think Spider Riders. You could give them like if you really wanted to, you could take a massive unit of like. We saw this at the event, but with Doom Kings, you could take a huge unit of like goblins, I guess, and give them all, give them all bows, and then just take this banner, and then,
I suppose
it could be tactics, but
basically you want it on Spider Riders is obviously the good choice because they do it on 5s instead. But I suppose anything that's got massive attacks, like just chuck it on.
Yeah.
Like, because poison's not bad as well if you want to try and bring down monsters. Because like usually for monsters, you're just sort of hoping for 6s anyway. So if you can just sack in a load of 5s or 6s to hit, you skip a whole step of the game, and you might be able to get a few more through. It's nice. 35 points, I think it's probably one of the better banners. But it's not an auto-include. Mm. You've got the Banner of the Nomads. So for 25 points, the Banner of the Nomads makes a charge, flee, or pursuit roll. You may re-roll any dice that roll a natural 1 before discarding any dice that required to be started. So, yeah, for 25 points, that's fine. I suppose, like say, if you want to put it on a cav unit that you want to sort of keep going, you've got. Or I suppose you could put this on the Wolf Riders if you ran Tooth Snatcher.
But they've got.
Oh no, because it's
anyway.
Yeah,
they've got Warband already. So,
well, I suppose if you wanted to, for your fallback in good order, because that's a flee, you could get further away. It's a commitment, 25 points, but it's again, it's one of those. It's not an auto include, but it could be a nice addition if you've got a set tactic in mind.
Banner of the Wilds, you get move through cover, 20 points. It'll come up, pretty niche, but it's an option. It's there if you want to take it. It's there.
Yeah, it's an option. That's the main thing. Yeah. Then we're on to enchanted items. So we have the Necklace of Blessed Teeth. For 50 points, the bearer of this necklace may re-roll any armor save roll, just flat, ward save. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, finish sentence now. May re-roll any armor save roll, ward save roll, or regen save of a natural 1. For 50 points, I think that's a bit steep, but it does go across all 3, so that could get you some clutch situations to keep things alive. But as you found, usually when you play your dwarves, when you get real 1s of armor saves, you just end up rolling more 2s.
I mean, I like it. I think it could be good. Again, I mean, like if you wanted to invest heavily into making a very tanky kind of orc war boss, but I mean, you promise you physically couldn't get them all 3 saves. Because obviously, I know we're not trying to extract every bit of value, but if you wanted to try and extract every bit of value you can get out of this book, the only thing that can consistently get an armor, a ward, and a regen is the. I mean, it's still not bad because you could get a Black Orc War Boss, give him the Troll High Trousers, you put him on a War Boar if you really wanted to, or just give him a shield. He can get to a Tup save pretty comfortably, and then with the Troll Hide have regen as well, so you can reroll 1s on that. Like 2 rerollable armor save with a 5 regen that you can then reroll 1s on is still pretty good. It is 50 points, it is a lot. Do I think those points would be better spent elsewhere? Probably. Yeah. I think I'd rather just, in this case, pay the 40 points for that, the 5 at regen and +1 armor, and then pay 30 points for a 5 at ward at that point, and then have 20, and then have 30 points left over for something else. You know what I mean? Or take the effigy of Mork to make myself -1. I think there's just better options in general than this, but it's there. It's an option.
For 50 points, you're banging on a lot of luck.
If it was 40, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I'd consider it more, but the 50 steep. So you've got the Grizzly Trophy Rack, 30 points. So I think this might be the same thing that... it's not. I think it's called something similar that the Wolf character had. So Grizzly Trophy Rack, 30 points. Black Orc bosses, Orc bosses, Goblin bosses, and Night Goblin bosses only. All enemy units within 6 of the bearer are -1 to leadership, -1 to their leadership characteristic. Pretty good. You know, not bad. Little leadership negative. If you've got a unit in the combat as well that's got terror, you are -2. Obviously, it caps there. You can't go any further than that, but I say pretty good. I quite like it.
Yeah, it's alright.
Would I run it all the time? Probably not again.
You got the Thinking Orcs hat. So for 25 points, the bearer of the hat improves their initiative characteristic by 1. In addition, the wearer and any unit they joined are not subject to the Impetuous special rule. So I suppose if you didn't want to take some Black Orcs to sort of quell some impetuosity on a particular unit, you could just chuck this on maybe a unit champion if they're eligible, or a character within the unit just to sort of quell them. So it's not bad, and +1 initiative by 1 if that comes up, so be it. But you're mainly paying for the remove the Impetuous point.
Plus again, Goblin, like regular Orc bosses, not Black Orc bosses, have Impetuous innately. So I'm sort of looking at it going like, you can basically build, if you take the full plate armor and that and the extra weapon, the +1 weapon skill, which I think you might be able to do.
Maybe.
Hold on. It depends how much that. No, you won't be able to do it, unfortunately. It's just 10 points over. But even then, you could take Dead Hard Armor, and you could take the Thinking Orc's hat, and you'd be... The only difference then would be you'd be at 1 less weapon skill and leadership, but you'd still have all the rest of the buffs. I mean, at that point, I think if you're like innately trying to just build effectively an equivalent Black Orc War Boss, just pay the tax. Take a Black Orc War Boss at that point, pay, like, even then just take 5 Black Orcs and just sit them somewhere. Keep them bare bones if you just want to take the Black Orc, which is understandable because Black Orcs are very good. So
I suppose the advantage of this is, like I say, if there's one unit you want to remove the Impetuous on, you got a Wizard in there, you could just chuck on the Wizard. But like for the Black Orcs, you not only got to bring the Black Orcs, you've got to bring a War Boss or a Big Boss, haven't you? Like I said, so
yeah, but I still think it's good.
It's the cheaper alternative if there's one specific unit you don't want to be impetuous, but usually, like you said, the blob of Black Orcs nearby is just probably the better choice. Unless you don't want to run Black Orcs, obviously. But
watch it. And then you've got the Staff of Badum. I really like this magic item. I think it's great. It's the bearer of the Staff of Badum applies a plus D3 modifier to resolve any casting roll they make. However, if they roll a double 1 or a double 6, they center a 5-inch blast over themselves. Any model's friend or foe are risk being hit at strength 6 minus 1, and it is immediately destroyed. This, I ran it in a game recently, where I did a little game, and it's brilliant. It's amazing. Because, you can consistently have, like, level 7 casts equivalently, which is great. You can also take, who are looking at this, if you take it on a regular shaman, if they're if they're in a unit that has unit strength of 10 or more, they get +1 as well. So then you can have like a level 4 that gets +1, so it's equivalent to level 5, and then this. And the double 1 or double 6, I think it's worth the risk. I know, like, pure efficiency, it probably isn't, but I think it is. In most of my games, it was like, if you roll a double 1, okay. I mean, the hit is not ideal because that could like rip apart a unit. But
especially depending if you got the double 1, not the double 6, because the further miscast could be another template over you.
Yeah, it could. So it could stack up quite nicely, but I think the benefits outweigh the thing. It is 55 points, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, on average, it's going to help you get your spells off. Especially if you come up against things like Infernal Puppet and stuff, it might give you more consistency to break other people's negative barriers on debuffs.
Or Magic Res or whatever, because you can effectively just ignore Magic Res innately from this. So
yeah, it's good. So then we've got the Idol of Gork. For 40 points, the bearer of the Idol of Gork increases the range of all of their spells by 3 inches. And additionally, once per turn, the bearer of the Idol of Gork may reroll a casting roll. So this is good. Like, if you were taking level 1s and 2s, you can up the range to 21. If you're taking level 3s to 4s, you've got 27-inch range. Oh no, it's the spells, not the casting. I didn't notice that. I thought it was the range of their casting. That could be real good. Because that could give you sort of a bigger threshold on like your vortexes now, being able to sort of outcast your opponent, hexes, and the free reroller. I think the free reroller alone is probably worth 40 points.
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue this one is a slightly better choice than the Staff of Badum because it's consistently just good. It's just good. I would say with that though, you definitely just want to take spells with range. If you've got any self spells, this kind of gets a bit wasted. So I mean, if you want to take the like magic missile kind of, where your battle magic combo.
Yeah, I was about to say you probably take a battle wizard.
Yeah, you could take that, and this would be very good for it.
You
And
know,
then
27-inch range fireballs, things like that.
Yeah, I mean 15-inch
Pillar of fire.
pillar of fire. Yeah, it's very good. The Hag's Brew, 25 points. Orc Shamans, Goblin Shamans, Night Goblin Shamans. Only in addition to the laws of magic, they normally know from the spells from the bearer of the Hag's Brew may know. Basically, you can access to the troll law. That's it. Law of magic troll. Not bad. It's a cool law because it's what I quite like, which they have done. Is it's not a case of it's only worth running if you're running trolls, because the only real spells in there that is they obviously signature, and the one which gives you +2 move on any unit that has stupidity. But then if you want to run an army which just has a hefty amount of trolls in it, you could take this, and then immediately it's you could have that. But like you could take this. It's a bit expensive, but you could take this on a level 1 wizard and hope to get the one that you can give a unit regen, because then you could have like a big brick of night goblins and give it regen, which would be pretty good, or black orcs. I mean, could you imagine giving a unit of black orcs regen? Like that would be great. So,
well, at that point, could you just not take the named character? Can he take troll magic and elementalism, or was he elementalism and spell?
No, he can take troll magic as well, but it depends. He's 195 points, whereas if you're going for it, you could take a level 4 goblin.
The goblin level 4s are cheapest
it depends if you and like he's only level 3, so but because you could take a level 4 wizard and then you could hold on, let me just double check. Is that no, it's not. So you couldn't take that and a arcane familiar, but
the law familiar where you put your own spells.
Yeah. But so and that is the end of the book. So.
Yeah, so that's everything in this particular review, Arcane Journal. Overall opinions?
I think it's a really solid one. I think both armies of infamy are really good. I think the troll one is probably a little bit better. I think just a whole army of trolls is pretty terrifying, as I have played against it. If you obviously it's one of the only armies I found that you can kind of. I know you can you could tailor to most armies, but this army in particular is like. If you go, oh no, I ended up with loads of magical attacks and loads of flaming, it's like you can. So when I actually played against the event, it turned out that Iron Drakes are just like the ultimate troll counter, and anything with flaming's great, which is no surprise there. So, but in general, I think it's very powerful. Trolls are pretty scary. 5 rerollable regens, because in combat, obviously, it still counts towards combat res. But if you get to attack, which you will because you're not dead, you then get to swing with. With your attack, which is a lot. It's for this edition, it's a lot of attacks. The Troll Hag's great, and in general, very good list. I think the Nomadic was really good as well. Impact hits are nice, and you can create a really cool themed army. And the Black Hawk Chariots, which are also immense. So yeah, I mean, if I was going to try and give it a number, I guess I'd give it. I don't want to give them numbers anymore because I find that in general, they've all been really good. There hasn't been a single Arcane Journal that I've read and gone, it's not great. Like they've all added good stuff. I think it's got good fun magic arms. I think it's you can build some cool arms out of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like all of them add more customization and thematic builds to the type of army you want to build, and there's no negatives whatsoever because obviously you can't. More customization is never bad. I think the only thing that is normally hit and miss in each Arcane Journal is the named characters that come with them. Either they'll be amazing and you'll see them in narrative, competitive play, casual play a lot, or they'll be way too spenny and not very good, so you'll only really see them in like campaigns or narrative missions.
Yeah.
You've got we discussed obviously Thorgrim. You're probably going to run him in narrative missions unless you really, 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 really like the character. But things like the Green Knight could be a staple in like competitive lists. Like it swings and roundabouts with that. But I think just in general, the armies of infamy that they bring and the new units of magic arms you can't go wrong with. I agree with you. Trolls are probably the stronger out of the two. An army of monstrous infantry is hard to shift because even on just the basics of the basic math of most push and pull combats, if you get good units that go and do like 5 or 6 wounds going in, normally that's like right, fighting rank dead, you can't attack me. Whereas on this, they can sack the regens to still attack you, or if they just go through, you're going to kill like a model and a half, maybe 2.
Yeah,
and still get a whale of attacks back at great weapons. So yeah, I think the trolls are real good. We'll end this one on a slightly different note. So what we've done in advances, we've both picked the Army of Infamy each. So I've got Nomadic War, you've got Troll Horde, and then we've sort of, if we were going to build an army or run it in a game, what sort of list would we build? So we'll keep it in order. I'll start with mine. So this is a 2,000 point build. Sorry, Karen.
Sorry, I was just going to say, we haven't made like super competitive optimal lists. You know what I mean? Well, I haven't anyway. I don't know.
I basically just had a quick scan at the new stuff and thought, this looks neat. What would I run?
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, I was just to say, so if you're reading it going, this isn't optimal or this isn't the best it can be, it's like, yeah, that wasn't really our intent. We might do that one day where we do like what we consider a competitive list for some armies, but that's not what we've done here. So
yeah, this is just like a first impression imprint of where would we start using some of the new stuff. So both of them are 2,000 point lists. So mine's based on the Nomadic War. Leading the... Well, I say leading, he's not the general, but he's at the top. So I've taken the name character just because I think he's neat. So it's got Kick Nick, 2 Snatcher. So no upgrades because he's named character, can't take any. We have a Black Hawk War Boss who is the general, solely on the fact that he's got high leadership. He's great weapon, mounted on a Black Hawk Boar Chariot. Thought, why not? No further upgrades there though, so he's solely there to be the general and just a bit of a hard hitter. Goblin Odd Knob, level 4 on a Spider. With the Lobber, the effigy of Orcs, it's -1 to hit, taking Wild Magic. So he's still mounted, so keeping it on theme. And I just think the Spider's neat, so you can't go wrong with a big monster. In the core, we have 17 Goblin Wolf Rider mobs, who will be joined by 2 Snatcher to make it 18. And they'll go 6x3.
3x6.
3x, yeah. They'll obviously be Close Order and Horde to make the benefits of that. And then they've been upgraded to have Cavalry Spears, Feigned Flight, and... Full command with the Banner of Butchery, which on the top of my head was +1 strength on the charge, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice.
So that
was that an Orc specific one?
I think that was So that should be in the old. Banner of Butchery is all models in the unit get +1 strength on the charge. So
strength 5 with Cavalry Spears.
Yeah, and then strength 4 on the mounts. It's not bad. And then they'll take advantage of 2 Snatchers, 0-1. Free ambush upgrade, so him and the 18 guys will be ambushing it from the sides or the back, depending on where they're needed. In core, I've taken the 1 Black Hawk Boar Chariot, as I'm allowed to with the War Boss. No banner on it, because like we discussed, I don't think the banners are too... They're nice. I think the detriments that come with it, if they or when they die, aren't worth the points that they'll get you for while they have it. And then the rest of the core is just 2 Goblin Wolf Chariots, as is. In special, we've got 5 Orc War Boys, upgraded to have Champion and Vanguard with Cavalry Spears. 2 Orc Boar Chariots with the 3rd crew member added on and Frenzy. And in rare, just 2 Black Orc Chariots with Great Weapons. So I've basically just gone wheels on the ground on this one. Yeah, in total there's 3 regular Black Orc Chariots and the War Boss on his own, so say that's 4. There's 2 Wolf Chariots, 2 Boar Chariots, as well as some Boar Boys, Wolf Riders and Spider. So it's wheels on the ground, turbo Mad Max.
Pretty interesting list. It would hit hard. That would, yeah. That's fun though.
But yeah, it's just I think that even though I'm losing a lot of the impact hits on what would be some of the army special rules, I think the chariots just tilt it for me with what they come with daily. The main things I'm benefiting is. Just the pure fact that you can just take everything on mounts. Yeah. Like some of the special rules aren't really coming into play, but I just think the mounted army of this looks neat. Especially with Orcs, because like I say, if you did build this, you could go like very Mad Max vibe, which I think would look neat.
Yeah, that would look cool if you go scrappy. Yeah. So I built a 2K list for the Troll Horde. So for the general of the army is Troll Hag. She's just got Talisman of Protection and a Power Scroll. She's only level 1. I've then got a Goblin Odd Knob on Arachnarok Spider again with the Staff of Badum. I think that's I think the Arachnarok Spider is great. It's just so many wounds, you know. So and another monster. I've got 2 units of 4 Stone Trolls with great weapons. 2 units of 4 River Trolls with great weapons. 3 units of 5 Goblin Wolf Riders and a Giant. So it's a lot smaller list. It's fairly elite.
We both seem to have gone quite elite builds. We've not really like Horde spammed or anything.
No. I think general tactic is I throw trolls up the board with a Troll Hag and a Giant and Arachnarok Spider supporting. I think the Goblin Odd Knob would probably be taking probably still take Troll Magic. I think it's still worth taking the Troll Magic. Like giving himself a 5 at regen or giving the Giant a 5 at regen could be pretty good. The plan with the Troll Hag is just to get big smarts and then cast that and like use her as the big smart bubble.
Yeah, she's like the anchor.
Yeah, because she's my general and she's a large target. It's an 18-inch range big smarts. And then yeah, just pro trolls. I give her the great weapons. I don't. We talk about how like additional hand weapons can have some benefit. But personally, I just think you're always better with the great weapons. They're already initiative 1, so the initiative is completely irrelevant. And the extra 1 attack, like even across 4 guys, it's 4 extra attacks. You've got no AP. You're only strength 5. Whereas with this, you're strength 7 with -2. You're cutting down most infantry, most even cavalry is pretty dangerous, or monsters.
Yeah,
like
monsters come in, it's scary.
So I don't think for the extra technically 4 points per squad, I just think it's always worth running great weapons. I think it's worth running great weapons in general all the time on trolls. I don't think it's ever not worth running.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the same argument for things like dwarves and stuff as well, isn't it? If you know 90% of the time that you're going last, you might as well swing last with a great weapon.
Yeah, like because you're literally going at the same time. So, and then the Wolf Riders all have cavalry spears and light armor. There, to be honest, the only reason they're in the list was to add a bit of speed, and all their job is to try and hunt down some war machines. Because like one 5-man squad of Goblin Wolf Riders should be able to kill a war machine. You know, they'll have 5 attacks. Strength 4 -1. Even like Dwarf Crew, RT4, like probably if I don't kill them, I'll lock them down pretty comfortably. So yeah, I mean that's 2K. It's a real simple list. It's not massively expensive money wise. I will say you could probably make it a bit cheaper if you ditch one of the units of Goblin Wolf Riders. But yeah, so
yeah, I think the most expensive thing would probably just be the Troll Hag, and then maybe the Spider. Everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the giant, like I say, the giant. There's so many variants of model you could use.
Yeah, I did have a bone grinder in there, but I needed the 100 points. Like you could theoretically, you'd have to find a point from somewhere, annoyingly, which you probably could do. But you could drop 2 of the units of Goblin Wolf Riders and make him a bone grinder if you really wanted to. But it's
ironically in my list, I had the opposite. I had a giant, but I wanted the Arachnok Spider like you've taken on your odd knob, so I just sacrificed the giant to give him the spider. Because I just love the idea of goblins on spiders.
I think giants in general are very good this edition. So I think it's if you take one, I always would. Like I played a game against dwarves, I used a giant, and that one giant killed a unit of hammers, a unit of warriors, a rune smith, and almost killed an Anvil. So he was just on a crusade of giantness.
Even if you charge the right things, they might not necessarily like kill a lot, but they'll definitely hold stuff down. Like I've just charged bricks of stuff before, and I've whiffed. But luckily, because it's most of the time for them, it's like they hit you on 3s, they win you on 6s. Especially because I play Chaos, so mine has heavy armor and a regen.
Yeah,
I've had one hold up units for like 4 turns before. And it's just like, that'll do. The rest of the army can go around.
Yeah.
And then when they do die, they'll fall and probably take a rank with them, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I say really good book. I think it's really fun if you've got the orcs, because technically the Arcane Journals are optional rules, guys. But in my opinion, always buy the book. It's just additional fun stuff. Like there's nothing in there where it's like, oh no, it's not worth it. It's always worth grabbing them.
Yeah, and I think if you buy it from GW, like 16 quid retail.
Yeah,
like,
and they're like
12
quid off
if you get it from a local shop.
Yeah,
it's you can't go wrong with them.
No, exactly. So yeah.
If you've got nothing further to add, I hope you all enjoyed this, guys. There's no more releases scheduled that we know of for 2024. So for now, we'll just work our way backwards and catch up on the other Arcane Journals. I think next we'll do Tomb Kings if we keep in order.
Yeah, we'll do Tomb Kings or Bretonnia. I guess they came out at the same time.
Yeah. So we'll do one or the other.
We'll flick a coin.
And then whichever one we don't do, we'll do the other. And then again, battle reports still on the horizon. Just working out a few more logistics on
setting everything up and stuff. Yeah.
I was trying to think of the word for it, but production. I don't know. But we'll get there. But hope you all enjoyed, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Good one.